Hey guys, welcome to the clubhouse. I'm Billy Jackson, and today's review is going to be on Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Okay, now when I first heard that they were doing another Dungeons and Dragons, I got super excited. But I was also very trepidatious because the last Dungeons and Dragons movie was total crap. And I was praying that this movie was not going to be that. But I was also hoping that it was going to be kind of like a Lord of the Rings type and not silly. But once the trailers came out, I saw that they were going to do more of a fantasy comedy. And I was cool with that because I love the cast and was very hopeful for this movie to be good. So what did I think? Was it any good? Yes! I love this movie. It was a lot of fun. Despite my own wants and needs, I wanted it to be an epic, more drama-driven. Dungeons and Dragons is really what I really want. You know, I want a Lord of the Rings type Dungeons and Dragons movie done. And maybe I'll get that one day, but this was not it. This was more of a comedy based on Dungeons and Dragons, which was fun because it was really funny, and I had a great time watching it. It brought a lot of great memories back from playing Dungeons and Dragons, which I haven't played in a long time. I mean, since I was a kid, really. But I've always loved the game and loved the lore, and I have a bunch of friends that play, and still to this day play, and that's great. And hopefully we'll get together. This spawned my interest to get together again and maybe get in on their game and play some. So hopefully I'll be doing that very soon because this movie got me excited to do that. And if you are a Dungeons and Dragons fan, you are going to love this movie. It has all kinds of references, Easter eggs from the game, and I thought they were very well done. All of them were very well done. All the creatures, the lore, some of the cities, and like they mentioned Baldur's Gate, and we actually go to Neverwinter. And if you don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. But I recognize those places, and I've played a lot of games called Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter, and I knew they were connected to Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm talking about console games, not tabletop. But I always loved Dungeons and Dragons games. And this movie really brought it all back for me. It was a great adventure. It was funny. I'd say about 90% of the jokes landed. As a matter of fact, there was one joke that they did where Chris Pine's character, he's a bard. So he comes in playing this lute, right, to distract the guards, but it's actually like a magic spell. It's not really him. It's kind of like a hologram of him. And it starts glitching, and his face starts drooping, and he starts playing all weird. It's hard to explain through this. It's kind of one of those, you have to be there to really get it. But I'm telling you, it was hilarious. And there were a lot of great bust-out laughing moments in this movie, and I really appreciated that. And not only that, it was a great adventure. It was fun. This movie was a lot of fun. It was like a roller coaster watching it. It's 2 hours long. It didn't seem like it was 2 hours long because, everything just fell into place. The pacing was awesome. I thought the direction was awesome. The effects were incredible, impeccable in some moments. I mean, I really believe that some of this stuff actually existed. So I was really impressed with really everything about this movie, and I can't think of anything bad to say about it. Usually I have some nitpicks. My only nitpick is that I wanted a different kind of movie, but this is what I got, and they executed this type of movie very well, and you will enjoy it, man. The movie theaters are stacked full of greatness right now. You need to get out and watch some of these great movies. I mean, Dungeons and Dragons, John Wick 4, Scream 6, Shazam 2, despite what all the reviews say and it bombing at the box office, it's a great movie, and I say go out and watch it. But this one just came out this weekend. I definitely would say go and see it in the theaters because it's worth it. It's worth the money, guys. Take your friends, take your families, take Take your kids that play Dungeons and Dragons. They will love this movie. It was made for them. This was made for the fans of Dungeons and Dragons, and I feel like they executed it very well. You're going to have a great time. And by the way, I didn't even know that Sophia Lillis was in this from It. I loved her character in that movie, and I loved her character in this movie. Michelle Rodriguez stole the show in this movie. I mean, she whips everybody down, and I loved it. The action sequences were phenomenal. They did a great job on this movie, guys. So anyway, I'm wrapping it up because this is a pretty easy to review to do because there's nothing really to nitpick. And I'm happy to do that. I feel like I've done that for the past few weeks. There's greatness out there in the theaters, guys. And this one was no exception. You will love it. Especially if you're a fan of fantasy, if you're a fan of comedy, and if you're a fan of Dungeons and Dragons altogether, you will love this flick. So go out and see it, guys. But it's not all about what I think. What do you think of Dungeons and Dragons? Have you seen it? Do you plan on watching it? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like my videos and subscribe to my channel. And as always, make yourself happy every day. And the only way to do that is to remember the only thing stopping you is you stopping. Bam!